Here we go. Yo, we are live on the Beatppl Podcast. What up, Tyrone Black? And then Ken is going to be joining at some point. He's probably like, I'll be right there. I just got a delivery. This is Beatppl Podcast, episode 71. I got my man D still with me. What up, D?
Yo. What up, man? Just, it's a rainy Saturday over here on the East Coast.
Oh, no. I hate that.
Yeah, man. It's good. I like it.
Oh, you like the rain?
Yeah, man. That means I can stay inside and make music.
No doubt. So, yo, I'm throwing this image up here. We go. Oh, look, Ken comes in. Johnny come lately, just enough to make sure he makes an entrance. So, and you know he's on when you hear the echo.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
So, yo, this, like I said, this Beatppl Podcast, episode 71. This is just going to be, we've been doing a lot of real cool, focused sort of conversations and discussions. And, I guess that's an addition to, a different format from what we have typically done. So we'll bounce between those. We got a lot of more focused shows coming up. We got some really dope guests still to come. But this episode is going to be just a gear talk, panel discussion about the MPC Live Mk2, the Moog Subharmonicon. Then Behringer teased a couple things, the monopoly clone and the jam. I don't know what to call that, but so we're going to talk about those things and anything else that comes up out of those conversations. So
I feel like me and Ken are gonna fight.
You might. I can see that.
Yeah. I feel like I feel it in my bones. I know we're gonna fight about something on this show. So
no doubt. What's up, Ken? How you feeling, man? Muted as it's over there, just muted.
Yeah, he's muted.
He's talking.
Hey, sorry about that. I have a new audio interface set up, and also I just got a delivery of Buffalo Wild Wings at the same time. So,
oh my god,
I just got a lot going on in my life right now. So, just give me a couple seconds, and I'll
That's
be
all
involved.
Good. Ali's like, fight, let's get him.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, thanks, Masada. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, we just wanted to kind of do. Masada says, love the new focused episodes. Yeah, we got a lot more of those coming up. We got some Roland SP episodes coming up. We got, and then by the way, the Roland SP episodes. I'm reaching out to my man Jay from Roland, but I also have Michael Trans.
Yeah.
Right, because he's gonna do the MV episode and the Roland SP episode.
Yo, I remember him doing the demos.
Yeah, right.
I remember him doing the demos for that joint.
Yeah, and that's why he's been on the show. He's a friend of the show, so we're gonna have him on too as well. But yo, I want to talk about this MPC Live Mk2. We've been talking about it a lot, and I wonder what people out there think about it. If y'all out there in the feed, sound off. I'm interested to know what people think about the Mk2 version with the speaker. And I like the idea of the CV. I think I'm kind of torn on the speaker. I think while it's a good idea, I wonder how much weight it adds. Masada might be able to chime in on that. Is it considerably heavier or what?
I have two things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, somebody said it's heavy. Yeah. Oh, why not? Was saying that it's heavy.
Yeah.
So, you know me, Corey. Like, if it got a speaker, it needs a microphone.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Why not?
That's what would make it really live.
Yeah, because I remember Masada did like a day in a life episode with the MPC Live, and he had the mic on it. And I thought then, actually, I did think then he had the mic, and I was like, it would be dope if it had a mic on it already, just something that you could turn on and turn off.
Well, the SP404 has a mic on it.
And here's the thing. We're gonna get into that in a minute, but the OP1 as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's my argument. I think it's if it had a mic, it would be, It would be in a fight with the OP.
With the OP1.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting thing. Masada says, I was hating on the speaker, but now that I have it, I love it. It is heavy. It needs a mic. he's dead on it.
Yeah. And why not? It's like, yo, SP has no speaker. And I'm like, yeah, you can't have everything on it. So, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I know for me, I play a lot of instruments. So if something had like a microphone on it, that would be super dope. So I could sample on the spot, or I could be in a crowd of people and I could sample that crowd, or I could be at somebody else's house and just point my MPC at whatever they're doing, you know. So for me, that'll just
there would be an immediacy to that would be really dope too. You know what I mean? Like you could go and sample any and everything and immediately put it on a pad. You know what I mean?
Okay, so some people are mentioning that they don't understand the speaker, right? They don't understand the speaker, and can you guys in the chat, would you answer this question for me? How many of you actually go outside with your gear? Because I know Ken does. I know I do sometimes. And it makes sense for us to have something where we can hear, you know, the content coming off of it. Even the pocket operators have speakers. Shitty as they may be, they got them.
They got right.
You know, there's a lot of tricks of what you can do with speakers in order to get stuff to sound a certain way. Like imagine if you had one of those Zoom recorders and you were playing music off of the speaker and resampling back into the machine. Yeah. You know, that's a crazy idea, but there's stuff that you can do. And
low gain is like never. That would never ever work for me. He said he never goes outside with his gear. But when I do, I use headphones.
Yeah, of course. Well, I get that. It makes sense. But there's people that go to the park. There's people that, you have a lot of these things, like especially here in New York City, where they're doing like these SP404 gatherings where people get together and just rock all these joints together. You know, it would make sense to have a speaker during one of those kind of situations. Yo, where's the noise coming from?
That must be me. I'm having all kinds of audio issues over here.
Yeah, you look perplexed over there too, Ken.
Yeah,
like,
you look like his drugs broke up with him.
You look like you worried about next month's rent or something.
Oh man, this the Mo2 thing has been kind of and it could be sound coming from a modular too. So like, I've just been having I got a lot going on over here. Give me a second.
Okay, yeah, just mute yourself though, because we ain't trying to hear that noise.
I'm gonna share my screen so people that have that, we could show that.
Yeah, definitely.
Here.
Yeah, I like it. I want to get my hands on one. First of all, because I don't have a Live. I have the X. So I definitely cannot go outside with that. Well, I can if I was Ken, but I'm not going outside with the X. It also has a lot of benefits that the One doesn't. Well, it has a lot of benefits that the One does have, because this joint got the 4 CV gate out that could be 8. And that's something that the Force doesn't have. And
hey, Steel.
What's up?
Sorry to interrupt. Do I sound okay now?
You're just a little low. You're just a little low, but
okay.
Yeah, but
right,
it sounds way better.
That, but yeah, I had to move a bunch of stuff around. Hopefully there won't be much echo either. So let me.
No, we're not getting any.
Yeah, it sounds much better than it did.
I just have my monitors turned really, really low right now. But yeah, I've got.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, people thought it was an armrest.
Right, because in the pictures they made it look like that with the FCC joint.
But like, an armrest though?
A palm rest kind of deal?
On an MPC, it's not like they haven't had them before.
No, of course they had them before, but it's just like, I don't know. That wouldn't be my first thought.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, and we were talking about this yesterday. I think my gripe with the speaker is one, I don't think I would use it much, but then again, I could see, there was times, like for instance, when we did NAM, that me and Ali and Mike Check and Ken and all of us was sharing a spot together. That kind of stuff would have been dope to be able to jam together, because with me and Ali was practicing our sets on the sink and the countertop. We had to also include speakers up there so we could hear the whole thing. And that would have come in handy, right? But at the same time, and then they put a switch on the back of it, which is good. They put a switch on it so you could turn the speaker off.
I think also the community aspect of it. It's like it's encouraging people to make music together and around other people. And you know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, like the stigma of being like the lo-fi producer in your room by yourself with a cat and anime posters all over the place is, it's something, but at the same time, it's very like, I'm just gonna be alone and not really share this content with other people. Putting a speaker on something means like other people are gonna hear it. So it's kind of
that's a good way to encourage that, and I think that's dope. I can't front on that.
I feel like the speaker is the least thing to even care about anything of this. Like, whether it affects you one way or the other, that's the least situation.
No, definitely.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
My thing about this is look, and this is where Steele and I are gonna have fun, because Steele always kind of yells at me, and he's like,
"Oh, I'm going to. I'm ready.
I pick everything apart, right? And fully admittedly so, I pick everything apart, and that's kind of what I do. But here's the thing about it.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna grab some coffee right quick.
Pick things apart, and that's during design, right?
Yeah.
So the time to pick something apart is not, oh, well, I'm trying to use something and make music, and oh, this is stopping me from making music or whatever. No.
No, but I didn't bring that up with this though. I didn't bring that up with the MPC Live though, because I have my gripes with it too.
I understand, but what I'm saying is so I just want to. I'm trying to pre-qualify.
You trying to start a fight? You trying to start a fight?
You trying to start a fight?
Oh yeah, you trying to start a fight, dog?
So here's the thing, right? There's a lot of workarounds. There's this, there's that. You can use this thing and make amazing music. There's no doubt about it. I actually really like the current MPC platform. As far as
Ken, turn your volume up a little bit.
What's that?
Turn your volume up a little bit. Because you don't have enough.
Now?
You don't have enough. Oh, that's way better. You don't have enough gain to yell at me.
So here's the thing. So my issue with this is, all right, you have an MK2, you have an opportunity to change and fix and just betterify the Live. Okay,
yeah.
You just came out with the MPC 1. Which has, in my opinion, a far superior form factor.
Yeah, everybody likes a square.
I had a live, and I liked it, but there was a lot of things about it that just made me scratch my head, and I'm not even gonna go down the path of the screen is on the wrong side. I'm not even going to talk about that, because that's, you could talk about personal preference.
Side.
Your preference might be wrong, but the screen is on the wrong side. But
you're on the wrong side.
No, because you want to. Most people are predominantly right-handed. You're finger drumming on your right hand. You want to do filter effects and everything else with your left hand.
First of all, you're assuming everyone's finger drumming.
It's just wrong, and that's fine. Or they're an evil left-handed bastard.
You're a finger drum.
Here's the thing. The shape of the Live makes it really not fit into bags well. It just makes it not. It's not very portable because of its shape and its layout. So
you're right.
The 1 fixes that, and the 1 makes it. In my opinion, the 1 is a much better layout as far as how it's all laid out ergonomically. The button layout is quicker to use. Everything about it's better, aside from the fact that the pads are a little bit smaller, which that doesn't even really bother me like that. When I saw that they were doing the MK2, all I could think is, man, I really just wanted basically a slightly larger 1 with full-size pads, with the battery. I don't care if it has a speaker or not. You could put the speaker in there. I don't think it's a horrible idea. I I don't care one way or the other because I have a Bose SoundLink Mini, and most people have like a JBL speaker or whatever it is. Like they have some kind of Bluetooth monitor that also has an aux plug that you can plug into it, whatever. But for me, the Live, they essentially stacked a speaker right onto the front. It's pretty much the same dimensions plus, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, I look at it, I'm like, wow, if you're going to change it, one, improve the things that people had gripes about, which would have been the button layout, right? To make accessing menus easier.
No freaking tilt screen, bro.
And that's the other thing is like, why would you not give it at least a little bit of angle to the screen? Because that's like the main thing that everybody irks about. Now, I can understand if that's going to add depth to the unit, because let's be honest, the Live is already pretty deep. Like it's a fat unit as far as depth is concerned. It's not like these things are slimline units like an iPad, you know? So I can understand wanting to keep that down on that level, but I can't understand like the overall layout not having the buttons and
Ken,
ergonomics of the one.
Here's why that I argue with that tilt screen thing, right? The buttons already give it that. The knobs give me the ability to tilt the screen that much up to where the knobs are.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, y'all give me no tilt.
And in fact, that would probably, if you gave the edge of the screen like a lip, it would probably protect the knobs when you put it into a bag.
Yes.
You know?
Man.
So for me, it's like...
Now I'm getting angry. Now we're going to fight for no reason.
From a sheer design standpoint, I look at it and I'm like, there's a lot of things about it that could have been changed. Now, I understand cost of manufacturing and R&D, and they want to keep a lot of things similar just so that, you know, because I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of the aspects of it are the same underneath, but there are things that are different. Like there's a volume knob on top now. There are a few extra buttons. So that tells me that there was R&D made there. So I just, man, I really feel like design-wise, it could have been a lot smarter.
Also, because it's a Live, I feel like there should have been more outputs. As far as audio outputs for routing stuff. Like, for instance, if I want to track out stuff live, I need more outputs. I need another stereo set of outputs or something on this joint. And I feel
it's got 6 outs on it, doesn't it? Or is it 4? It's 6, right?
Hold on, let me zoom in on that joint.
It's got the main stereo and then 2 aux groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would
feel like that's fine, because if you need more than that, then plug up to the computer. And really, let's all be real. What we really want is them to allow us to use a USB audio interface.
Oh yeah, that was out there by mistake a while ago. It was out in the public because I seen the videos on it. But I don't know.
Low Gain makes a interesting point. He's like, well, it's called a Live. Wouldn't it be that's indicative to it being played out live, right? Which means PA system. And my point is not necessarily, because if you think about what was the Roland, one of the small new joints has a speaker on it. A couple things have speakers on, but I think things like that are meant for more intimate playing out. Like think almost electronic drum circle.
Yeah, but then how would you explain speakers on the pocket operators? How would you explain speakers on the Novation circuit?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
those are all collaborative things and potentially playing out. But I think maybe more intimate settings where it's more collaborative, or just smaller areas and stuff.
No, I feel you on that. I think for me, the speaker as a sound designer opens up a lot of possibilities of stuff for me that I could do with this machine, like just from the jump. But I think differently. I'm not thinking, I'm just making beats. I'm thinking like,
I also, listen, as a sound designer, I disagree with the idea of having to have a mic on it. Like, there are so many portable mics and small mics that you can just plug right into the back.
Of course, but I'm just saying,
to me, that would just add costs without much value.
Yeah, but it's also the vibe of the machine, right? It's the vibe of what the machine sounds like. So, for instance, I like the way the microphone on the OP1 sounds.
Well, that's cool, but you can get those types of mics on Amazon for of course, $5.
But I don't want to spend an extra $5, Ken.
Dude, you're already spending what, $1,200? Give me a break.
No, I'm just saying. But this is not for me. I'm arguing.
Plus, if you inbuilt the mic, you're probably gonna have issues where people are gonna have feedback issues much easier and those sorts of issues. If you had a mic that you can get, there's a little right angle adapter mic that you can get that you can plug into the back, right? And it allows you to angle the mic. Then you can angle it away from the speaker and whatnot.
I don't know if you have feedback issues.
Yeah, feedback issues, bro.
If you've got the speaker on and you're monitoring the mic, yeah, you could.
Yeah, no, that's different. But I'm just saying.
I'm talking about from an end user situation where you're dealing with tech support issues and
end users need to read the manuals.
People are going to do that.
That's it.
I'm telling you.
You're an end user, Ken.
I mean, I can
man,
honestly
I've got so many uneaten chicken wings upstairs. I can't even come back to anything right now because all I'm thinking is like, okay, we're gonna get through the show and I'm gonna eat them chicken wings.
Yo, Ken's an end user,
and your kid gonna be to ate them chicken wings, and you're gonna be steaming.
I want to say shout out to my slow frame rate camera right now too.
Yo,
I don't know what that's
I want to give a shout out to my man Marcus K in the chat, and just so everybody know that's my man. We go back to when we was like 9-10 years old. My best friend in the world, my brother. He taught me how to use an MPC.
What up, Marcus? I seen you in the background of some video like a couple years ago with Corey. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, that's that Marcus dude.
No doubt.
Also, man, you know what kind of upsets me a little bit? The fact that those 4 outs can actually be 8, and I wish I had that on my 4s. It just makes me a little salty.
You're talking about the CV.
Yeah, that's real, yo, because I've run up against that recently where I'm like, damn, I wish I had more CV out on my 4s. And then my man came through and showed me how to work the squid and gave me some once over the squid. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use the squid as kind of like to give me a few more voices out of the Euro rack and stuff.
But Corey, this is why I still love my MPC-X.
There it is.
Because I have the 8 CV gate outs. They could be whatever I want them to be. And the Q-Link system on the MPC-X in conjunction with those 8 CV gate outs is a match made in heaven.
That's real. Maybe I'll start using those together at this point, because that the fact that I get all those CVs, I mean, like the CV gate outs, and I can MIDI up the 2, the Force and the MPC-X, and then just kind of capture the stuff into the X.
Yeah.
Or the Force, either way.
Actually, even though the Force is like, the new kid on the block, and it's an amazing piece of gear. I have the MPC-X set up next to my modular because it just has way more CV gate. I'm sampling more on my MPC-X rather than my Force. My Force, I'm creating a lot of stuff on it. On my MPC, I'm doing more sampling, so it makes more sense with my modular setup.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to say this, man. As far as talking about the CV stuff, why is there no CV in? That's what I want. I want CV in. I want to be able to do really wild stuff. Like, let me address sample start and end points and loop points with CV and do that kind of stuff.
Well, first we got to do that in the software by itself, because I've been wanting that.
And that's the other thing is like a mod matrix inside of a MPC alone would be brilliant. To be able to modulate, different things. These are things that, to me, this is where my mindset goes between the MPC and the Force, is that the Force is a little bit more thinking about the future in a way, whereas the MPC is kind of holding down the industry standard kind of, sampler sequencer workflow. So I'm hoping that eventually with like the Force, you would see something where we can address things like sample start and end points and loop points and all that, and modulate them and do things that, there's other things out there that are ambitious in this way. Yeah. That the MPC team has kind of shown that they don't really want to think that in that kind of futuristic way.
I personally feel like not even that they don't want to. I personally feel like they're not allowed to with that brand, and it's almost.
Well, that's what
I'm
saying. Is right? Like they're not allowing their own. They're not allowing their brand to evolve in its own direction anymore. They're so situated into this is this classic thing, and it's going to stay that classic thing, and we're not going to break that. It's just going to stay as what it is. And in my personal opinion, that's what holds the MPC back these days. But that's where the Force comes in, because the Force is tied to MPC.
It takes the baton and runs further into like territories where the MPC is not necessarily allowed to go, and that's not good or bad on either end. Certainly not bad on the MPC end, because I see the MPC sort of like in general, I guess. The way a Harley is. A Harley is going to be a Harley, and they're going to. There's going to be ways you could customize it, and but there's certain things you just expect of a Harley that you may not get in some other, newer crotch rocket sort of bike, or even a newer cruiser by a different brand. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
I think modulation is the issue in all these joints. Like me and Ken talk about this all the time. We have dreams about like LFOs doing specific things in these MPCs, or us being able to build envelope followers. So like the kick drum can, so something can follow what the kick drum is doing, and not sidechaining. We're talking about true envelope following and shaping and all these stuff. These are the kind of things we want to see in these machines. Unfortunately, there's two things that happen. Music culture determines music features a lot of time. Right? So whatever is popping musically is what gets implemented into a lot of these machines. It's not truth all the time, but a lot of times companies are influenced by what's popping. That's why when trap is really big, all of a sudden you see trap sound packs in all these joints. And when
of course.
So
what happens? They have to be driven to some degree to the trend, right?
But here's the thing. When you think in the future, you're not following trends. You're following something that you want it to be.
Creating the trend.
Yeah, basically. You're creating the trend in the future. And that the huge problem is that all the companies are chasing the same thing. And there's standouts. You got companies like ASM, where they came out with the Hydrosynth. They're on some future shit.
Yep. They totally went left. We're not even thinking about
like borrowing, like borrowing from the past format and stuff, but then saying, "Hey, this is what we would like to do with these classic things. We would like to take it another step."
So here's go ahead, D. I don't want to cut you off.
No. I'm just saying, like, future thinking is something that I feel like as developers we need to do more, and I put us in that because Corey, you already know the kind of stuff we're doing. We got to think in the future, like, yo, what would I be? What do I want to be able to do?
Exactly.
And build on machines
as a developer, I feel like that's part of the responsibility. Like, why do stuff that's already there, right? Like, you want to be able to say, I want to be able to do this and I can't, or I can do this, but I want to be able to do it easier, better, smarter, whatever the case is.
Like, for instance, Corey, the Octatrack, difficult as it may be, it was thinking forward.
Yes,
certainly.
Absolutely.
That's why it still stands the test of time. But still,
you can agree or disagree with how they do certain things, but the actual functionality that's there has a lot of forward thinking.
It's forward thinking, and also, Ken, the fact that it can be a mixer is crazy to me. Like,
hold on. I want to address this though. To hold that thought because I want you to get into that, but I want to address this. This is why I got this up on the screen. When we were talking about the MPCs are a more classic, sort of traditional way of doing things, and we had a couple people chime in. One was Masada and one is Low Gang, where he says, the MPCs are nothing like the classics. The only thing that's a classic is the front panel.
I disagree.
They talk about the software, and I know where Masada is coming from.
I'm with you, Steele. We agreed together.
But the thing for me is that, okay, they've advanced, but when you on an MPC, think about it. Here's a funny thing. Do it. There should be a shirt that says MPC with do it across. That's so old school MPC, and there's so many things in the MPC that you still have to confirm before it takes the action that you told it to take already.
And there's just a lot of stiffness. There's a lot of stiffness to the way the MPC works.
Like, for instance, only being able to have 7 sounds in a choke group on the 2000 XL, nobody in hell wants that joint. No one wants that now. We had
this conversation the other day.
No one wants to be only to have 7 sounds in a choke group. Well, my MPC X, like my MPC X can choke every sound that it wants. Like every sound, like
well, there's other things that are there too. That it comes down to things like underlying engine stuff, like swing and just sequencer mentality things and the way the sampler works, that kind of stuff. Now, there's been a lot of progress. We're not saying that there hasn't been modern progress in MPCs. That's not what we're saying at all.
A ton of progress with the MPC.
But there's been a lot of pushback when forward-thinking ideas have been brought to the table, and they're worried that, in a way,
it alienates the classic user.
Exactly,
legacy.
And they're free to change their minds, and I believe Masato when he says that thing, and there's also a lot of things that we're all privy to that we're not going to speak about on the show, but at the same time that they might be pushing things forward, there's also a limit to how far they push things forward. That a lot of the times we're kind of like, you could do a huge leap to a whole nother country, but if you go to the next block, we're at least a little bit happy.
Yeah. Also, Ken, I think me and you probably disagree on the whole concept of legacy users, right? I'm just
Not really.
Wait, what? Because my whole concept, because you know me, I'm young bull. I'm like, yo, legacy's users ain't gonna be here.
That's ridiculous. You on some Brexit stuff. Well,
first off, I hate you.
I'm like, hey man, legacy users is cool, but they got like 10 years left, so we gotta move forward from that. Like, get rid of legacy users.
I hate you.
I'm just joking.
Hey, real quick, just to kind of segue while we're talking about legacy users, can I open this?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
That would be dope.
I really should have had my better camera set up. I could turn it on.
No, Ken, don't introduce any other variable that's going to make a technology go out of whack.
Yeah, no doubt.
So we could talk about legacy stuff, right? And I got this thing that's kind of exactly that. Like, we're talking exactly that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I haven't opened this.
Hey, guys, we're doing a... Also, Ken, you're lifting that pretty easily. It means the weight of that thing must not be...
It feels chunky already. But
chunky feel?
Now keep in mind, this is, this is not a finished thing that I'm opening. Oh my god, this thing is like...
That's mad tape, though.
Alright, let me see if we can... Here, I'll angle my camera a little bit. Let's see if I can't get some light.
Alright.
Too.
You've seen it. Live.
Let me turn on my lights a little bit more.
YouTube. I love how we're all rocking definitively solid colored shirts.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, so here we go. All right. Oh my god. Oh, this box isn't gonna be
okay, yo, Corey's over there doing the sound effects. Yeah.
Okay, right. So this is not on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, but I think this is a dope thing.
There it is. It's upside down.
It's upside down. Oh man.
I'm gonna put the camera on Ken. Let's see what Ken's unveiling.
Ken's unveiling his arms that need a tan.
Ooh. That's 2400. Now put that back in the box and send it to. I'll take my address.
Yo, that looks.
So this is just to be very clear. This is one of only we think
4.
5.
That's 5.
I think there's 5 of these out there right now. Only 2 of them are not developers. So, and this is one of them. So,
I wonder where the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it, and it is heavy, man. It feels about like it feels heavy like a 2000 XL.
Okay.
But it doesn't.
It must be lighter than what I felt.
Hollow. It doesn't feel hollow and shaky like a 2000 XL. Like, you know how you could tap on a 2000 XL and it feels like there's like nothing under the sheet metal, except some like rattly plastic.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like that. Like, here, I'll tap on that.
And somehow it doesn't resonate like the rhythm.
Dude, don't even get me started. Yeah, the buttons. Listen to the buttons. Hold on. What is with my camera? Hold on.
Yo, your camera's ashy.
I am so not like in a good way today.
Yo, put some lotion on your camera.
Right? Something is just not cool today. All right, so watch my camera get all janky. But yeah, so like if I tap the plastic buttons for the numbers.
Okay.
These feel nice, actually. These feel really nice. I'm not even gonna lie. Those things feel dead on.
Yo. Okay.
So yeah, this is one of the things that I'll be doing today.
Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor real quick? Do you have a 1/4 inch next to you, and can you just plug something into one of the jacks and take it out? Let me know what the the hold
sure.
of
resistance.
Yeah.
Let's feel that chunk.
Chill. Yeah, you handle your own chunk, Ken.
Dude, I like the casing a lot. It's definitely sharp looking.
It looks the side panels look great.
Yeah, just to give people another look at it.
Ken, actually, that looks kind of like Hydrasynth panel side, right? Is it the same color?
No. So the Hydrasynth has like
he wouldn't be able to compare it for you because he only got all like
he got
early
7
prototype joints. There's like 1 million of them in there, but they're probably not the color of production.
Yeah, he got 7.
No. They are actually. I do have 2 Hydrasynths that are really, really close to production.
Okay, cool.
But the Hydrasynth has like little flecks in the paint. This
Okay,
doesn't really have flecks in the paint. It's more like a flat black. So let me
but
do
the
this.
side,
You want
the
the
side
mic down?
cheeks.
You want the mic down by it?
No. It's cool. I just trust your opinion on like what the.
Well, I'm gonna put the mic down by it. I don't care. So
You want to hear the click?
You want to hear that? Oh,
Click,
okay.
Click.
that's nice. Yeah,
That is good. That's good tension.
it feels good. It feels good. And there is now granted this is all prototype, so I can't say like, okay, yeah, the final version is gonna have this exact jack or whatever on it. It sounds like from I would assume that it will. Like, I don't think that these jacks are gonna change at all, but the point that I'm getting at is coming through the panel, you have threads. I'm trying to angle it so that the camera can see it well enough. It sticks through enough for threads, so if you wanted to put securing nuts on the side here, you could do that too.
Okay, cool.
There's definitely enough room to do that, which is good. It's got a really chunky power connector on here, man. Let's see if I can get this so that you can see it. Hold on.
Okay. Oh, that's dope. Whoa.
And it's got fusible link right there.
And you got the panel has been corrected to say S2400 now too, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
This is the S2400.
Really dope.
That's really dope.
USB host and SD card, clock in and out. MIDI, yeah.
So now, Ken, I'm going to have to change the image for this episode.
Yeah, yo, we're going to have to change that.
Yeah, so I was really worried because my tracking said that it wasn't, that all of a sudden it got delayed and that it wasn't going to be here today. And my face,
Me too, Asada.
Man, it was a bad situation when I saw that my tracking had been delayed, but apparently it showed up. So I'm pretty happy about that. It showed up like just before the show. So, and it does have a headphone 1/4 inch quarter-inch headphone jack is on the front as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. So I mean, there's a lot for me to dig into on this thing because that's why I have it, is to find the problems and get them corrected before it becomes production.
Hey Ken, is it just quarter-inch headphone jack, or is there an 1/8 inch too?
Yes. No,
Okay.
just quarter-inch. And let me just show you guys my desk real quick. Now don't focus on the mess, because admittedly my desk is a mess for 2 reasons. 1, because I'm messy, and 2, because I literally just changed my whole entire audio interface setup. So like my desk is a freaking hot mess right now. But I want to show you how it sits on the desk, like just sitting here, so you guys have an idea of what I got going on.
Ken got a dead body in his room.
Oh, Masada, he don't know how the sound quality is personally just yet. He that's literally him unboxing it for the first time right now. He just like the mailman just dropped that boy off in his hands.
But
that's kind of why he was late, low key.
Yeah, but Brad, I think 2 days ago did a 20-minute demo.
Oh yeah,
of the sequencer and the sound quality. So it's up on the Isla Instruments site.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just sitting here on my desk.
That joint is chunky, yo. That's a substantial machine.
Yeah, that joint fire.
But you know what? It's chunky, but it doesn't feel like ugly big. So I had the Tempest sitting here earlier, and hold on, let me move my mic so you guys can hear me a little bit. So I had my Tempest sitting here earlier. God, this camera has like. Hold on. I'm not having this.
Hold on. Okay, Ken, we gonna come back to that when you.
Ken needs some cocoa butter on his camera. It's like ashy in a mug.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to say so just to go back to what we were talking about. We're gonna get back to the S2400 in a second, but Inky says actually there's one Log Force user or owner here that doesn't like the tilt. I make music standing up. Yeah, that's valid.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's nice to have the option if you want it.
Exactly. Yo, I'm here laughing because Ken's footage over there looking like Cloverfield.
It's almost the place. It's like somebody wrestling the camera.
Like Blair Witch Project over there in Ken's studio.
No doubt.
Like, yo, that's wild. You know, the tilts, here's the reason why the tilt screen is important. Because, like, you don't want to spend, like, mad money on stands.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, just give me a tilt screen so I don't have to go spend mad. If y'all made a stand, Akai, for the Force, make some accessories.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I literally worked with 3D stands. Mm-hmm. They make a stand for the Force, and I remember thinking like, damn, the Force don't have a tilt screen. And then I reached out to the dudes like, yo, you gonna make Force stands? And he's like, nobody's asked me that. You got one? I said, yeah. And it was really early, obviously, with these things coming out. So what I did is I worked with him on the measurements and all that. He shipped me. We went through like 2 or 3 rounds before we got it just perfect. And this stand is dope, but obviously it's a $50 stand, and that's the kind of thing. It's like, so now you got to spend $50 on a stand, and you know what I mean? If it's not a tilt screen, it'd be nice to just have that already there. Like the X is perfect, that you could have the screen flat or tilt it in many different sort of angles or whatever degrees of angle.
Yeah, man. Or I wish there was like some sort of option where like, man, that USB was a little more powerful. So like if I wanted to plug my iPad into the USB and use that as a display or whatever, you know, like there's a bunch of crazy ideas that I always have in my head that I'm just like, because remember the old MPCs, you can modify a lot of the screens.
Yeah.
Especially that 2500 and that 1000. Yeah,
they had them big joints that you could put in place of them. I think people would probably, in this case, that joint is built in. Like, I don't know. I think that would be too much to be trying to do on this joint, but who knows? I'm looking at the Force with that, but Masada. Ken is going through it. So Masada, you asked when's it shipping? It actually was scheduled to ship at the end of January, but there was some delays, and I think there's probably was some delays with not just development but maybe parts. But what I love about it is that he's been keeping everybody updated as the weeks have gone on, but it's scheduled to ship here soon, probably Q2 sometime.
Hey, Kovisha got in the way. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. COVID came through like, ain't nobody doing nothing. Say that.
Oh, yo, low gain. You just mentioned the VGA out for the MPC 3000. I need to get that. Like that's something that I've been. When I get my 3000, I need to get that VGA out.
But what's it look like on the screen though?
I don't know what it looks like.
I want to find out. Low game. Send us an image if you know what it looks like.
Yeah, send us a VGA pic, and I'm really saying send us a VGA pic. Don't sell us anything else.
Yeah. It looks like Atari.
That's actually pretty cool, though. I'll be interested to seeing that. Oh, so Corey, let's talk about let's talk about the Subharmonicon while Ken is
the Subharmonicon.
And
Hold on, go to that.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it a million times over here.
And yes, I did just get the 2000 XL. I'm getting my muscle memory back from when I used to have it back in the day. I'm just annoyed at certain things now that I can't do on the 2000 XL after 10 years of not having it. So it's a dope sounding machine though, man. It's has a vibe.
Yeah. And I actually got my parts from MPC Stuff on the way so that I could, refurbish my MPC 2000 XL. I can't wait to use it. I've been sampling drums out of it, and the punch on them joints, like that's something you don't think about. Like when it comes to the MPC 2000 XL, people don't talk about the sound of it because we'll talk about the older machine sounds, but that thing has a sound. At the very least, it gives things punch. It punches things up a bit.
Well, it's the whole concept of like summing.
Should be there.
Yo, Ken is over there.
Ken Wilder.
Yo. Yeah.
Oh man, my mic wasn't muted, huh?
Yeah.
No, it was not.
I'm irritated, man, because my whole setup is just like falling to pieces.
Yo, it's mad funny, yo. No, like
he's complaining at himself.
Yo, so for me, like the MPC, like there's two things that I like about it. I like the way it sounds just out the stereo out, right? But then I also like the way it sounds being tracked through a console with the 8 outs.
Yeah,
because there's a bunch of different options, and there's many different vibes. It's almost like I tell people, listen to the Dilla 2002 through 2004-05 era, where he was making beats with I think it was the 2000 XL, and he had the micro Korg.
Yeah.
So when you think about that era, the beats sound a certain way.
Yep.
It has a certain vibe.
It has a vibe. Yep.
But then you listen to Marco Polo do beats, and his beats have a certain vibe. They have a certain texture to them, and all that has to do with like how you're exporting your stuff from it. There's many different combinations of how people were like tracking their stuff out, or man, I'm just fascinated with just capturing that sound.
And then too, I think too, like there's one thing about, and I know people had tricks where they would have the 8 outs and they would be going through a different compressor or something on each of the 8 outs. I remember somebody was like, yo, I had 8 of these particular compressors in the rack and I would run everything through it. Or if they weren't fortunate enough to have a board that, had the Mojo or whatever it might be, but there's a lot of different stuff like that.
Yo, I used to use my tape. So you mentioned that I used to use my old 2000 XL together with the OG Presonus APC 88. It was an 8-channel gate and compressor.
Dope.
And it was super dope through a Behringer Eurorack console. Like one of those like pirated like Mackie consoles that Behringer used to do back in the day. Like, bro, that's how I was tracking out my my MPC. Also, man, bro, my iPad and my MPC 2000 XL is probably one of the dopest combinations because I don't have to have crates of records anymore. I could just open up a YouTube page has mad like Turkish rock records and just go to town. Like,
yo, I gotta throw this up there. My man, Blue Buddha Beats said, pre-DAW MPCs, don't be fooled by the new iPad with buttons. So I'll take that tongue in cheek though, but it is funny because I know that's what a lot of people think of the new MPCs with the big screens, and that they're iPads with buttons, and that they don't have character, but they sound pristine though. That's the thing. I think
no, that's fine
about that.
But here's the thing. Workflow is what causes people to make music in a certain way. The thing about iPads is there's no buttons on it, so everyone has the exact same input on there. They're inputting information the exact same way via touchscreen. When you have the MPC, people have different ways of using the MPC. I know guys that just do audio. They don't even mess with MIDI. They're just sampling loops. There's, so for me, it's like having dedicated buttons and workflow causes people to find their own rhythm and vibe on the stuff. It's not like, pinch to zoom.
Yeah.
Can, give somebody a different result. But that's just me.
And my man Marcus, but like he's basically saying like, yo, when the MPC 2K and XL came out, we were saying how clean and pristine it sound crisp compared to like the 3000s, the SP1200s, the
Mirage
60s,
and all that stuff.
All of them joints that sounded real. Because it was a 16-bit joint, and that's why I think in my mind I never think of the character of the 2K and the XL. But the fact is, when I put that joint on the table next to my Force and heard the punch coming out of it, I immediately had to resample the drums into the Force, actually, until I at least refurbish it. But yeah, it definitely has, like, there's a punch in that joint that is special.
To me, my MPC X sounds just like my audio interface. And that's kind of why I like using it to make a lot of the modern stuff that I do, because it's just very transparent. But I'll only say that until I hear something with a better converter and better transparency. So I'm not, I could only.
That's one thing I can honestly say about Akai with these newer MPCs. They really took that whole the audio interface to another level. These joints sound really good, and they put some mojo in those joints. Probably more so than we'll ever know, because I don't think that's something that they're necessarily concentrating on making a big sort of like selling point, even though it really is.
Yo, you know what has one of the craziest converters in sound quality? And not a lot of people talk about it. The Digitac. Yeah, yo, the way samples sound in the Digitac is one of the most cleanest sounding like pieces of gear that I've ever used. And I like it for like sending stuff to the MPC 2000 XL from the Digitac, resampling, doing all that crazy stuff. Yo, it's really fire, man. We're in a day. We live in a day where we have no excuse to make bad music. There's so much dope gear where your freaking phone is like incredible for making music.
Hold on. Okay, I'm about to show this. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna see the VGA stuff right now.
Okay.
Let's kill that for now. Then I'm gonna share this other one.
Yo, tell me how Ken disappeared.
Yeah, he's straight went. He gone.
Can't go show up on screen like them terrorist videos where they get somebody hostage and take the thing off his head. Like, hi, my name is Ken. Oh, dope.
Okay, so it's gonna come up. You'll see. So they're showing the regular screen right now. Now they're gonna pan up.
I'm not mad at
that. That's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all.
Dang, that's pretty dope. Because I'm old and my eyes don't do what they did at 20.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah, that's dope.
All right, Low Gain. I'm gonna have to
appreciate you, Low Gain.
I'm gonna have to get that VGA out for the 3000. For the 3000. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So should we
text Ken to make sure he's okay? Like,
Now I think he probably upstairs eating them damn chicken wings. I'm about to share the screen. We're gonna talk about the Subharmonicon.
Dope.
Let's see. Oh, Isla Instruments came. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what up?
Boom. Ken just did an unboxing on the air and then he disappeared. I suspect, S2400 and chicken wings in the house at the same time. The show takes the third place of all of that. Yes, and happy birthday to Bob Moog.
Yes.
I want to say, while we're about to talk about Moog and happy birthday to Bob Moog, I want to also remind everybody that along with our focused shows and guest spots that we're doing, June 6th, we're going to have Michelle Moog, Bob Moog's daughter, and the executive director of the Bob Moog Foundation. That's all one person. We're going to have her on the show, and it's going to be dope to talk to her about the Moogseum and the Bob Moog Foundation and just the Moog legacy and the Moog documentary and stuff. So
yeah, that's going to be, I'm going to be excited. I have mad questions for her. So
that's going to be, I think it's going to be really fun. She's so humble and down to earth, man. I think it's going to be a good time. But this Subharmonicon though, a lot of people were probably surprised to see this joint come out, but then maybe not, because every time, here's how Moog's cycle goes. They'll have their Moog Fest, and then they'll have Moog Fest costs whatever the tickets are, $100 or whatever to get in, but then they'll have the VIP engineers workshop entrance. You pay like $1,000 and you get to sit in on a workshop and you build a synth. The synth is every single time it's not on the market yet. And typically what they're saying is like, we don't know if this ever gonna come to market. So you're building something that nobody will have. And
they was gonna come out with that. They was
that, but it's part of the marketing line that they like, we this is exclusive. Spend that $1,000 to get in here. Right? Because it's 10 times, it's like the engineers VIP ticket is like 10 times more than
I think it was like 15. I think it was like 15 to get in for the VIP.
Yeah.
And you walk out with that ill denim jacket that's spray painted like the Fat Boys.
That's right. And a synth under your arm.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty dope. So somebody was saying 2 years ago they talked about this, so they built the Subharmonicon, and that one was different. It was a lot more knobs and switches. Well, not a lot more knobs. It was fewer knobs, but it was more switches, where this one has buttons. And they finally decided to drop this one, and it was like a year or 2 years later, really, I think, from when the original one was built at Moog Fest. And I can't front. I'm not mad at them, because I've been looking at demos and listening to demos, and the joint sounds really nice.
Yeah.
A lot of cool features on it too.
I like the Subharmonicon. I think it's really cool. And here's what I like about it. I feel like I would get more bang for my buck out of this being in my rack. Also, the construction quality of this looks way better than the other ones.
I agree.
I feel like the pots are a little bit different. And now we have dedicated buttons for a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, and the buttons are nice. It's like they took their learnings from the DFAM and the Mother 32 and really stepped up their game a little bit, quite a bit with this one.
Well, here's the thing, Corey. This reminds me of something else that I don't think we've ever talked about.
What's that?
You remember that Eurorack module that they teased around the same time? I think it was like a delay.
No, I don't remember that.
It was during it was around the time of like Mother 32, Brother from Another Mother, which Why Not said it didn't come out yet. Isn't that what the DFAM is, or was it different?
I know they had a BFAM. We discovered that just a couple weeks ago, because we were like arguing with Ken. There was no BFAM. It's DFAM, and we looked it up and it was BFAM. So I'm not surprised. The cool thing is I've been looking at this and I'm like, oh, so there's 2 VCOs and that and it's 2 sequencers, and it's like 2 of everything in one. BFAM is different. Yeah. So, but yeah, this is what's going to be dope about this. And the plan is, I had a conversation with some folks at Moog, and they were planning to send this to me, but it's funny, I think they forgot about me. They were like, hey, you didn't get a Subharmonicon? And I was like, nah. And they were like, all right, we got you. So what my plan is going to be one of these situations. Where does it go?
Are you gonna get the 3-tier joint?
Yeah, the 3-tier joint.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. But I kind of want to do it where I got a DFAM and 2 Mother 32s in the subharmonicon. Here's why I want 2 Mother 32s, because I want to be able to program chords with the Mother 32 and kind of leave the subharmonicon for like all the other special sauce. Like, yeah,
that's dope. That's dope, because I'm actually kind of surprised at the kind of palette of sounds that you can get out of the subharmonicon. I've watched a variety of different demonstrations, and I'm like, wow, everybody's using this a little bit different, and everybody has a little bit sort of secret sauce. Some people using it with different effects and different stuff, but it's actually pretty dope. I can't wait to get my hands on it. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, marbles and maths into the Mother 32 is fire. Oh,
Word.
shout out to Travarsi in the chat.
Yo. Oh yeah, Travarsi, your video with that was real dope too.
Yeah,
your video with the
subharmonicon
was
really dope.
So if y'all get a chance, check out our sis Travarsi. She is the on-air personality for Perfect Circuit. So all of the recent demos that you see of all the different synths and stuff, and certainly that subharmonicon demo, that's our girl Travarsi. She's killing it
over at Perfect Circuit.
No doubt. Hold on, let me see.
By the way, she has one of the coolest like Eurorack cases I ever seen.
Yes, she does.
I'm so jealous. I'm gonna get me one of them Curry cases. I'm telling you right now, Travarsi, stop playing.
Look, somebody said flux on them chicken wings.
Yeah, he got hot sauce all over his fingers right now. That's why he can't get back on the chat.
That's right. That's right. And yo, I wanna get on the. I mean, yo, I feel like the subharmonicon is gonna find its way into a lot of the crew's music. I just kind of feel that way, even if it's not right away. At some point, a lot of people in the crew probably is gonna have that pass through. But here's another thing. Oh, is Ken coming back? I'm gonna add him to the screen. There he goes.
Hey Ken, shut your speakers off, man. Come on.
Ken don't like headphones. Headphones give me gas.
Yo.
Yeah, everybody's like the Ken's S2400 probably got hot sauce on the pads now.
Yeah, that first
he
pad
still ain't ready.
That first pad looking kind of sticky.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah,
now we can.
Yeah, we can.
I don't know what the hell's going on here, man. My whole setup is hot trash right now.
Ken got $90 million worth of audio equipment over in the studio. He's like, it's hot garbage over here.
Yeah, it's just, dude. My whole setup right now is a travesty. So I apologize for that, but hopefully sometime next week my new audio interface setup will be all ironed out and I'll be back to normal. But
yeah, because right now it's looking ashy.
What's that?
I said right now it's looking real ashy over there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just all bad, man. I blame everyone but me.
Of course.
Let me
likely story.
Over here too. How about that?
Yo.
Let's see what happens.
Yo, Ken
is Brad still in the thing?
Yo, Ken is the most destructive dude that I know ever. Yo, Corey, remember that time he broke a bottle of whiskey in the middle of the show?
Yeah. Can be wilder, yo. It is the truth.
Yo, I don't remember. I don't know if you guys remember this in the chat, but I think it was probably 20 episodes ago. Ken got drunk and broke a bottle of whiskey all over his floor.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Yo, that joint had me
I think that
crying.
was the same episode. Was that the episode where he was complaining about MPC MIDI?
Yeah. he went on
he went on a super wild tirade and broke a bottle of whiskey like he
went on a drunk.
And that bottle was completely full too. Like it had like one sip out of it. I was pissed.
Yeah, he went on a drunk rant. I was crying.
But here's the funny thing. I ain't gonna say that had any influence over 2.8, but everything he complained about is fixed in 2.8.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's mad funny.
I keep hearing people saying like, "Oh, stop complaining, stop complaining." I'm like, no, stop being complacent.
Look. No matter how much me and Ken fight, I always encourage him getting drunk and ranting because I know we're gonna get some cool like features out of his drunkenness.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, like my mess is a hot, my desk is a hot mess and all, but I just wanted to show that I do have it sitting up here right now. I did power it on in case you can't tell. I don't know how the screen looks from here because
it looks fine.
It's hard for me to like look at it.
Looks fine. Don't change it. Whatever you got going on.
Yeah, right.
Fine.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
So yeah, I put some temporary nails on here. Like again, this is a real early prototype, so there's actually some things that are going to change about this. But like these are not finalized up here, and like underneath the feet underneath are not finalized. And no, I'm not drunk right now. I'm drinking water over here. Thank you very much. Why not? That's the other thing is a lot of people think that like when I go on those rants that I'm drunk. Usually those rants are when I'm at my most sober. Because if I'm drunk, I'm just like, hey, it's all cool. But
I don't know about
if I'm
that.
sober, I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, Ken. You keep telling yourself
no,
that.
I'm not saving that.
No.
Yeah, man. So, R2 Worksy says, I hope it gets better support than CoreBot. All I can say about that is, CoreBot support is far from dead, man. Like he's got some stuff in the works for that too. So, yeah, there's just a lot going on there. But anyway, yeah. So it's sitting up here now, and I was just kind of checking it out and seeing how it feels.
So those are the dual concentric pots, right?
One thing I will say about this is, as far as like the layout and just ergonomics, how it's shaped and everything, right? When we were talking about portable devices, this is not that. And I don't mean that just from like it's heavy, it's metal, whatever. Like, I would not want this to be something that like I threw into a car and just jammed with or whatever, because of things like, one, if you've got a lot of faders on something like this, that stuff could all get bent if you're just like tossing it around, whatever. The way concentric pots are kind of high, like they feel great when you're in the studio, but that's not the sort of thing that I would want to just be super portable about.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I'll say about that. But man, like the feel of this thing, it's all tight. Like the button tolerance is all real tight, which usually at this stage on prototypes, this is when you find that sort of thing, like, oh, it's too wiggly here, or like, you know, this button catches on the sheet metal here, that sort of thing. This thing is all really like tight, and it's pretty damn sexy, man. I ain't gonna
What them
lie.
pads feel like though?
They're fairly firm. I had a conversation with Brad right before I spoke to you guys. There's going to be some changes here, but it's more like underneath stuff that you know what I mean, like as far as like sensitivity and all that. They just found a way to improve a few things. So, you know, he's constantly working on improvements, even though he kind of has things all ready to go. He's still working on improvements, which is, you know, what I hope to see.
Yeah.
But they feel kind of like fat pads, like MPC fat pads. Like that's kind of what they feel like. And then where the LED lighting comes through here, you can actually feel like there's a slight indentation right there, and it feels like chunky. Like it doesn't feel like paint or anything like that that's gonna get scratched off. Like it feels chunky.
What them fingerprints like? Like what's the finger? Because bro, my MPC X gets dirty if you look at it.
Well, I literally was like, I was just touching on some hot wings and all before the show, but I'm not
I love
much on
that
there.
sentence.
The
I was
type of
just
paint
touching
that's
on some
here-
hot wings.
The type of paint that's on here doesn't really lend itself to like that style of stuff too much. I'm not seeing like I'm touching on it and my hands are like, you know, whatever, but I'm not seeing any fingerprints or anything like that. Obviously, if I was to touch the screen, I'm not going to go touching the screen because I'm not stupid. How about that? But yeah, man,
Jesus.
the buttons are all very like they feel nice, man.
That's
they're,
good. That's really good.
What about the knobs? Are those the newer knobs? Because I know he was waiting on some. Are those the ones that? Yep. Those
So
are
the
the
main ones that he was talking about in the updates are these guys. These are actually from my System 1M.
Okay.
So I have green ones on my System 1M. So I took the original black ones and put them on here because like when he shipped it out to me, there wasn't anything there, and that's just because he's that's like one of the last pieces that's arriving.
But he was
to
also saying about the concentric knobs, right? Is that what they call?
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
also saying about
yeah,
the
the
silver
he was
ones
looking at
and black
different
ones.
colors and
concentric.
whatnot of them. These are the ones that are going to be on there, I do believe, and they're nice, man. Like, yeah, these actually feel really
That's
good.
I'm really looking forward to messing with this thing just because just the layout of it is kind of dictating how I would
screen's
approach
crazy
it.
responsive
Yeah,
too, so.
that looks good, man.
Yep, that's on point.
I'll see if I can.
Very
Here, I'll give you
responsive.
just a real quick.
He gonna change something.
No. Don't get too worried, but I'll do this real quick.
Oh no.
There we go.
There we go. I seen some.
See it a little bit better now.
Some
right?
glitchiness.
Here, actually, we'll go like this. Bring it up a little bit. Right about there. And then, yeah.
Focus that much. Yeah, that's good. Ken, what's the faders? How much tension is on that fader?
Honestly pretty pretty light.
You can crab scratch on them joints?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they feel really close to about where I put my crossfader on my mixer at actually.
Okay.
Because like I like my crossfader on my mixer to be where if I tap it, it only goes halfway across, and that's about where it feels like.
Bro,
See?
the worst feeling fader in the world is the one on a 2000 XL. That note variation slider, it feels like it'll break off if you sneeze.
It's funny because I'll be honest with you, I was actually kind of expecting these to feel more like that, where they're like a little bit more tense, but at the same time, like the 2000 XL has that kind of like almost gravelly feel to it, you know?
Yeah, it has like some.
It almost feels like PCB on PCB, which it actually is kind of like. It's like a little metal L. And it's just raw PCB right there. So like if you take one apart, but no, this actually feels really good. Very smooth.
It looks like it's more smooth, honestly.
And it's like it's not wiggly back and forth. Like here, let's pull this off. Brad's screaming somewhere right now.
Yeah, imagine if Ken like breaks it live.
Live on air.
Man, I'll tell you what, they're on there tight.
Brad knew who he was sending it to.
It's not gonna come off. Well, it's not gonna come off right now, so I'll look at that later. I may have.
Well,
to
that's actually okay, Ken. That's actually a good thing because how many times have we seen devices that are missing fader caps on it and all that stuff? Like that means these won't fall off that easily.
It's true.
Yo. Okay.
Yeah, and what Logan's saying, talking about like optical faders and whatnot. Yeah, I agree. You know, it's a different use case and whatnot. He's talking about like, you know, having like a, you know, like an innofader or optical fader in there. Yeah, those things are going to be, you know, that's a much higher cost and all that kind of stuff. But no, basically what I'm getting at is like these feel really smooth and really nice actually.
Yeah, also the response on the screen is really good.
The tolerance is really tight. Like it's not like, for instance, on the DeepMind 12, you can shake your faders and like you feel like it's kind of weak there and you can wiggle it back and forth. That's not how this feels at all. Like if you press down on the fader, there's no give, you know?
Okay, that's good.
So that's pretty dope.
Dope.
Yeah,
that's really dope. Ken, this is exciting, man. I can't wait to.
It is.
Bother you
I didn't
later.
want to take over the show with this, but it's
Nah,
here
but
this
you
is
did.
good.
Nah,
This
but you
is
did.
good.
But you did.
I mean, I think it's good because, you know, I mean, people want to know about the stuff, and all the updates make sense, and all the updates are, you know how it is when you're waiting on something. Every bit of information you can get is good information on that piece of gear. So this is looking good, man. And now, is this close to what the final product is going to be?
Well, this is like the first prototype that's outside of his hands. So, you know, generally speaking, and I'm speaking in just general terms here, usually there's going to be at least some minor, minor tweaks and whatnot here and there. So, you know, I wouldn't say, oh yeah, this is 100% there, because it's, you know, I'm sure there'll be some very minor tweaks.
But it looks solid though, man. That's the thing.
Yeah, like if this is indicating, you know, because usually from this stage you get just a hair better, you know, and from this stage alone, I'm like, yo, this thing is, man, it's really solid, and it looks good. Like, it doesn't look like a toy. It doesn't come off as you know, a small guy in a garage making it at all.
No, it doesn't. It's a professional piece of gear. It looks good. Everything also, about it is no
that joint look like it'll look real good next to that Hydrosynth.
Yeah. Word. Well, I have that right here. Like, I can show you size wise. Matter of fact, let me grab a different one. Hold on.
Listen to what he's saying. Let me grab a different Hydrosynth. He said,
"Let me grab a different Hydrosynth." Like, bro.
Well, I gotta find the right one.
Yo.
No,
so this is interesting.
That one. Hold on. I can't show you that one. I got it.
Wait, why can't you show us that one, Ken?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, he only said that just to get that response.
No, it's just there's a minor difference there that I just don't want people seeing, because then people can start debate and say, oh, well, I want this or I want that.
No, I feel you.
You know, that's just not the case.
Hey, Benjamin Izzo, man, I just ordered that Geranalog Contour. That thing, I'm waiting to test that joint out too, man. I'm excited.
So it's about the same width.
That's what I'm trying to show you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm kind of seeing that on a stand.
They actually kind of are the same width.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
So hold on, let me angle this up.
But Ken got them wood cheeks on it though.
Yeah, I got wood cheeks on this one. But, yeah.
Oh, yo, that looks fire together.
That really does. That's crazy. That's dope.
I know the.
That's gotta happen like that. That's gotta happen.
Right? Yeah, Ken, that looks like a dope console right there.
Really?
Yeah, it kind of does, right?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun. I usually sit the desktop sits right up above here so that I can do poly chaining and.
Ken, why your stuff is showing like that?
Hang on.
Well, all your camera settings are on the screen, like we're doing like some special espionage episode where they try to make.
Sorry about that. Yeah, well, you know.
Look at this, even more.
Just today is
no,
that
don't worry
day,
about
okay?
it. Don't worry about it. We're gonna go back to the.
Today's that day, all right.
So okay, we also want to be able to talk about the other. There's one other thing, or maybe two other things we want to talk about, and I'm glad we got that in. I'm gonna redo the art image and the title. Put the S2400 on here, and look, Ken's dipped out again. But
no, I'm here. I'm just adjusting my camera. There's other things in the studio.
Oh man.
So how about that monopoly?
Corey, you know how I feel about the monopoly. I've been talking about that for years with you, man.
That gotta be got.
Yeah, I need that joint.
Yeah.
And, oh, jeez, I need that joint. And you know why? Because I don't want to get an old monopoly that has to have maintenance done on it and craps out on me because parts aren't available anymore. If this joint break, I'm not gonna be that mad.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it's probably gonna be about the same price point as the Poly D, because it looks like it's the same form factor and all of that stuff. I don't think they necessarily talked about a price point yet, but monopoly is one of those things that I've wanted for years, but I think I kind of became aware of them a little too late when the prices were already skyrocketing. and I don't want to pay what they're asking people to pay. And then 2, I don't want to deal with what maintenance and stuff. I got lucky with my JX3P that I got one in mint condition with an editor and all of that, and somebody had refurbished it and got it all together. But yeah, in this case, you can grab this monopoly and do damage. I mean, and it's a nice format, and it's actually pretty dope. And I've heard that those Poly Ds, I've heard the construction is pretty solid.
Hey, Shazam mentioned this. He's like, I'm getting that monopoly. I love it on my iPad. So that's one of the reasons that I fell in love with the monopoly, because it's probably my most used app in the iPad. And before that, I was using it in Reason as a rack extension for a long time. And I just fell in love with that sound. And I'm like, man, if I can get my hands on a real one, I'm going to. And the fact that Behringer is making it accessible is really, really, really dope.
Yeah. That's true. The accessibility aspect of it is super dope. And I'm actually glad that they decided to do this one like a keyboard rather than like a desktop synth. But obviously it's paraphonic. So, there's that. It's interesting.
Let me just bring this up because I want to get you guys' opinion on this. How spoiled are we? Because I kind of looked at it and I actually wanted a monopoly for a while, and by the time this thing is like ready to go, I'm kind of bored by it, to be honest with you. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's cool that it's happening and all, but I'm kind of bored. Like, I'm kind of just like, man, I want to see. They did the DeepMind 12, which I think is pretty awesome, and I'm like, I want to see a successor to that now. Like, dude, keep going that route.
I get where you're coming from. No, I get
where
you're
saying. We all want to see that. I know I want to see that but I'm
not trying to knock this so much.
No, I get exactly where you're coming
it's
from.
crazy that we're like getting this spoiled with the analog resurgence and all that,
The Clone Wars is kind of like that sort of deal. Yeah. But yeah, it would be nice to see them make more sort of original or at least more inspired derivatives.
Well, the thing is, we have new synths out. Like, we have stuff like
that's true.
Like Peak, and we have stuff like Summit and Hydra Synth, and even some of the crazy ass stuff that Soma Labs is putting out, like those drone machines or those crazy ass drum machines. Yeah, they're people are making new stuff. The problem is, again, it's one of those things where when music culture dictates what products are made, we have this whole resurgence of synthwave and all this stuff that's coming out. So a lot of companies are making stuff that goes along.
They cater to that.
The genres that are being made, which I understand. But again, the forward-thinking companies are not making stuff based on what people are making right now. They're making stuff based on what they want to be made. So that's what's really important. That's why we're not seeing a lot of innovation, because people are too busy competing with one another.
Does it look a bit small to you guys?
Yeah, it's not a huge joint.
It looks like smaller than the Poly D.
You think it looks small? I think it's the same exact.
It might just be the look, the camera angles, and all that. But even in the pictures, like I was looking at, I was like, man, it for some reason it just looks small to me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it does look kind of small. Honestly, Ken, here's another thing that I've been meaning to talk to you about. Like, man, we need some true polyphony out in these streets.
Yeah.
Like, we need.
Well, that's where the DeepMind 12 was winning, because it was like, yo, not only were you getting a new analog polysynth, but you were getting it for dirt cheap, and it had a ton of voices and effects.
Yeah, man, we need some true.
Whatever happened to the DeepMind? Do you feel like it faded away somehow?
Now we know what happened to it, Corey.
Well, we can speak a little bit on not just the underbelly side of it, but like so on the surface level, we could also talk about the fact that they're trying to push out all these different synths and products so fast that they're trying to flush out their warehouse, so they dropped the price point of it and undercut used prices of it, which I know that irritated a lot of people, but at the same time it's like, well, what did you expect? You bought a synth for dirt cheap to begin with, but then there's like this public perception where people who don't know pretend like they know. And then they're like, oh, it's because it's not selling, or it's because of this, or because it's like, no, they're just trying to put out like 30 synths all at once, whatever.
That's it. They
so
literally,
there's that level of it. And then there's the other level of it where you can read like the Glassdoor reviews and whatnot. And if you follow the industry, they lost that team. Like that whole Midas team, aside from like one or two guys, quit. Like they're all gone. Like their main engineer, their main DSP guy, and their main analog guy, all that stuff, they're all gone. That dude, the dude that made that analog filter for the Neutron, he left.
Yeah,
like,
damn, that's crazy.
And they made a big deal about that. Like all those great engineers that were doing the A-list work for them, that were like really kind of doing the cool stuff. Man, those guys left, and it's like that's scary because that's what was doing the turnaround. You know what I mean? That's what was.
There was a lot of great talent there. That was a lot of great talent.
So my question is this, right? If you if you're a big company like in music, like Music Tribe, like whatever, right? And you buy all these other brands, like what they've done, because that's another topic that we didn't even get into, like in music, buying Stanton turntables.
Oh yeah,
that's huge too.
That. Yeah, that's huge.
So you have what is it? Music Tribe bought TC Electronic, bought Midas, bought Clark Technic, all that stuff, right? But then if the engineers who built those companies start leaving, right? You might be left with the IP, but the brilliant minds who made that stuff happen, if they're gone, do you really still have that company? Like, do you still really have what it is that you bought, you know? So that kind of makes me a bit worried about the future of what we're going to see, because, for instance, Rob Belcom, the guy who was like, you know, the main DSP guy and engineer behind what was going on with the DeepMind 12, he left. You know, who's going to fill his shoes? And his level of experience, you know, I had a conversation with somebody on Facebook the other day, and they were like, oh, you don't think that, like, there's just a million other engineers waiting to take that place? And my thought is, not really, because not at that level. Not at that level. Yeah. You might have a million engineers wanting to take that place, but they ain't at that level. They ain't at the head engineer of Midas level, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, they
and because of that, it'll take years to get back to a point like that, right? So, you know, to get to that level of skill and expertise.
And people are asking, like, do you know why they left, this, that, and the third? Like, they've made their thoughts fairly known, I'm pretty sure. But I'm not going to get into anything specific on the underside of any of that kind of stuff, just for... I'm not trying to deal with that. I'm not trying to do. All I'm talking is public information that's out there.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, so I was gonna put up on the screen, but I can't find a decent enough image because it's not a real product yet.
Are you talking about that jam?
The jam.
Yeah, Native put that out.
Native put out the jam.
Oh yeah.
No doubt.
They even stole the name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was just reading the comment, but you're right. It is. So it's funny. That's the thing that I think annoys people about a company like Behringer, or at least this. I can't put a finger on. Are they serious about the jam? Is that something that they really want to do? Why does it look so much like the MPC one? And why is the name the same as a product that Native Instruments already put out? You know what I mean?
That's all telltale signs that this is not an actual product happening right now. Like,
yeah, because I can't tell if they're trolling us or if that's real business. You know what I'm saying?
Like, there's a lot of telltale signs about this that, to me, scream this thing is nowhere near production.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like on a level of like years. So, and I could be wrong. Like, I'm not involved with that, but I'm just saying, for me personally, like, I look at it and I'm like, there's ergonomic aspects of that thing too. That, like, just like we talked about with the Live, and again, this could just be, hey, this is how they chose to do it. Just like the Live chose to do certain weird things. But there's ergonomic aspects of that kind of like irk the living hell out of me. And they apparently have that Facebook group, and people are just throwing up whatever Photoshop they make, and they're like, "Oh, make this." And man, every single design I've seen on that group is just like,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Lacks common sense. is the best way that I can put it. Like, how can you be that good at Photoshop, but like throw things like, you know, faders and in front of pads and this, that, and oh
like,
god,
yo,
they just
I want
bad.
75
in weird places.
They're just like, yo, I want 75 faders on my drum machine. Like, bro.
Yeah, I saw one mock-up somebody did where it was 2 APC 40s on either side of a big ass screen with pads at the bottom, and it was like, what are they? This is a cartoon group now at this point.
The other thing that we have to really point a finger at and say, hey, this is a telltale sign is, when did they do this? They did this on the day that the Live Mk2 was announced, right? This has become their MO for like the past few things, major products that have come out. They've done exactly this. Like they announced something that could come out at some point. Who knows? But like they dropped the information right then to try to steal people's thunder. And what's messed up about that is, it doesn't benefit Behringer to do that. Like, they don't have a product to sell in that place. All it does is hurt the other companies. And that scares me on the level of like, oh, well, now you're just trying to bully the industry. Like, you're trying. Well, yeah, you're just trying to essentially hurt other people's sales and other people's businesses. And I'm all for affordable products, for real. My issue is more like, yo, let everybody eat. You know?
Man, I don't know, man. I just be getting upset whenever I see this conversation go on, because the reality is there's nothing new under the sun. It's just about who makes it better workflow. So I'm just waiting for that workflow to be better. Like, and for us to have like forward thinking like features. Because still none of this stuff is forward thinking yet.
So, and that brings to mind a statement when I interviewed Roger Lynn for B-Boy Tech Report in like 2013 or something like that. It was a written interview. He mentioned, I said, yo, what do you think about, at that point, I think the Ren was out. And I was like, yo, what do you think? And that was sort of revolutionary to think that Akai was doing a hybrid controller. Nobody was really doing that. The idea of having a controller like machine was one thing, but then to have it be hybrid where it could be, it wasn't standalone yet, it was hybrid. So it was kind of still like a big step for Akai. And I asked him what he thought about it. He's like, oh, well, I mean, okay, but it doesn't sound like, it just sounds like they shuffled the chairs on the deck. It doesn't really sound like they've changed a whole lot. They just kind of shuffled the chairs around on the deck. But it's kind of like you're saying, nothing new under the sun, and it's still, and workflow has improved tremendously.
No, workflow has improved, but here's the thing. I still don't understand why none of these samplers have a granular mode in it.
And that gets back to the whole MPC, like having start and endpoint and loop point modulation and all that kind of stuff. Like, these are all those forward-thinking ideas that guys like us, we all want. But, you know, they're kind of fresh ideas that I think a lot of the companies struggle with implementation of a lot of that stuff.
Also, the playground right now is apps, because you can absolutely you can create a lot of these ideas in apps and be like, okay, this is a reality. We can actually implement this in something.
And what's cool about the apps is, like, especially if you have an iPad Pro, those things are like the size of a real desktop unit. So like you can even toy with like actual UI design of how somebody's hands are gonna lay, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of what, you know, even though like I always bring this up jokingly, me and Ken fight, but these are the things we fight about because we're passionate about, like, yo, we need to see forward thinking ideas. Like, we talk about physical modeling a lot. We talk about granular a lot. These are going to be the sound of, you know, 2030 and 2040. All these 10 years from now, we need to be advanced with this sort of stuff. You know what else is something that people don't talk about a lot? And I was doing research on this the other day. Ken, you remember the Nord micro modular?
Yeah. And the modular, what was it? The M or G2?
Yeah. So systems like that are crazy.
Yeah, well, systems like that, systems like the Arteria Origin, systems, you know, and when we see things like, what's the one from Yuhi? Diva. Oh, so we see like Diva, and we see, you know, pigments and that sort of thing happening. and System 8 happens.
Yes.
And we're all just like, well, why like, so you're modeling all this stuff. Why not give us the option to change a Juno filter with, a mini Moog and, this, that, and the third. And man, because the technology is so much better now to where that stuff is before when it was like a little rough around the edges. Now it's like that stuff can be fleshed out and so beautiful. And you see things like the Quantum where you have an almost iOS app running as your UI right there on that screen. And I mean, there's a lot of interesting ways that this stuff can be taken,
Can I also just say officially to every single company in the world, can you stop using micro USB on things?
I think people are starting to get onto that now. Yeah, because you'll notice like the Arturia stuff doesn't use it anymore. Mm-hmm. Like it seems like I agree.
Like we keep mentioning Nords, but like Nord Drum is still something that like is incredible.
Yeah. Oh, plus USB-C is about the same size as that micro, and it's a way better connector.
It's a way better connector, and it's way like insane. Oh,
what is this Nord VST that Benjamin was talking about? Mm-hmm. Is he's talking about a new Nord VST, or is he talking about the old one?
I think
it's got to be something old. Is it new?
I think he's talking about the old joint.
Oh, okay. I got all excited when I saw that. I was like, "Yo, is there a new?" Like, I was like, "Oh shit."
Ken, Corey, remember the other day that I was telling you about like why I wanted the ES9 so bad? So check this out. VCV Rack has a plug-in hoster. Where it's a module that you can load any VST into and then use that as a Eurorack module. And what's cool is like, man, that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to, like being able to use my Soundtoys plugin as a module in my Eurorack that I could just like do crazy stuff with. That's
dope.
It's kind of off topic, but I just thought about it thinking about forward thinking stuff.
We should look into that. I'd like to kind of dig into that conversation a little more because that actually is pretty dope.
There's another thing that's kind of forward thinking, which is the Elk platform. Have you guys read about that?
Yeah, that's really crazy because that's letting a lot of these plugin developers make hardware and it'll be unifiable too. So
that got me excited when I saw it at NAMM. I was like, whoa. This guy had a Reason rack extension built into a Eurorack module. And I was like, okay, that's the future right there. That's what we need. And it's also going to make it easier for people to develop stuff because
you better be careful. Like Paul Schreiber is somewhere like wanting to bite your face off.
I know, but Paul knows that I really respect everything that he does, and I think he's brilliant. But
Paul's been saying for years, he's like, the future of Eurorack is just going to be an iPad in there. I'm just like, yeah, well, basically. I mean, I remember a while back, the first one that was really like that was Sam. When I saw at NAMM, Sam Botstein showed that he had that Emperor, and it was like a PC in a module. And that thing was crazy. And then come, fast forward, we got the ER301. We've got the Percussa SSP. Mm-hmm. And there's another one that's doing that now.
We need that micro Percussa SSP.
And you got like the Zoya. What's the Zoya Eurorack joint?
Oh, and the Euro.
I want that.
Yeah,
cool. Somebody help me get one of those.
No, we all do. We all need that joint.
Yeah, that thing looks dope.
I'm planning on selling my Zoya right before the Eurobro comes out. Just like, boom. All right, I'm ready to get that Eurobro.
I'll probably be buying a Zoya then, because I still like guitar pedals too.
I'll sell you my Zoya.
Yeah, I'll steal it.
Nah, chill.
I know where you live.
He'll literally advertise his burglary plans.
I know, right? He's like, just letting you know I'm going to rob you.
By the way, disclaimer in case anybody wants to try to sue us or anything. Everything that we say in this show is false and fictitious.
Yeah, it is.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
No doubt. Hey, we only speak on public stuff. So there.
Yeah.
It's
but I've seen frivolous lawsuits from other people before, so.
Oh yeah, so this is fictional. We're all doing fictional. This is satirical show about music technology.
So hey, I do want to actually kind of talk real quick about that whole Stanton thing because there's a lot of deeper aspects about that because I've been thinking about it all week. Like it's just got my head spinning. So in music, which is also Newmark, which is also Denon, which is also Akai, right? Bought Stanton.
And Alesis and all that.
So, so they own Stanton now, which there's a few methods of thought about that. So Jack O'Donnell, head of in music, right, used to work at Stanton. So they built it as like he's bringing these teammates back into the fold, but it could also be an FU. We don't know.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. The other side of it is, dude, they're cornering the turntable market in a major way by doing this. So now, really, you have Pioneer competing against it, and Technics isn't really back, you know what I mean? So it's really crazy. But the other thing is that you remember Stanton is the one who developed Tractor. Like before Tractor split off and went Native Instruments, it was Final Scratch, right? And then you also have Denon had Decadence.
No, that's Stanton.
That's them also.
Yeah.
And
so
then
Stanton,
you also
Decadence,
have Torque. So they've got 3 digital vinyl platforms now. I'm old head, so digital DVS systems, right? But it's kind of crazy to see that they're doing all that. Plus, it could also be their cartridges. There's a lot that goes into Stanton. Like, Stanton actually made some pretty nice turntables, too. Like, I don't know if you ever used, the 180s or anything like that.
They made some really, really good stuff.
Yeah, they made some good turntables. Like, I actually had better experiences with the Stanton turntables than I did the Newmark. Because I had the high-end Newmark ones. The X joint.
Hey, Ken, so check this out. I went on Stanton's website right now, and I went to the turntable section, and it gives me the 404 not found.
They took it down.
Just the turntable page.
Wow.
Everything else is still available.
So then you got to wonder, are they going to rebrand those turntables as Denons? Like,
maybe. But the thing is that now that they have all this stuff, like, who knows? The time stretch engine in Decadence might be better than it is in other things. So they might go and grab that algorithm or whatever.
Sure.
So buying a company doesn't just mean, oh, now we're going to get turntables. It's about the research that company has.
Yeah, that's the IP.
Bro. I'm like, there's a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm waiting to hear one day somebody buys Serato, because then that means they're going to have that time stretch algorithm.
And if you think about who owned Stanton before...
I needs that.
And if you think about who owned Stanton before, it was Gibson, right?
Yeah.
Which Gibson also owns KRK. But
KRK
we saw... Monitors. And Gibson's
recently
had a host of issues, in the recent future. So it makes you wonder, like, is Gibson like trying to slim down and just do the guitar thing, or are they still going to be doing the pro audio stuff? Like, what's happening there? It's like there's that story has like a lot of wide reaching effects that kind of has me just like looking around crazy.
Yo, to all the people that's watching right now, be sure to follow everybody that's on the panel here.
Yes.
Hit that like button, subscribe and share. Spread the word about the show, because
that's actually
we're gonna keep bringing you really, really heavy content and just stuff that it's probably not out there everywhere. Even though there's a lot of different streams and stuff, just make sure to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing, so we can grow this community and this network and keep doing what we do.
You'll get the Rona if you don't share. I'm just saying.
This is a different kind of virus, the computer virus and the actual human virus.
Somebody said, hey, do you still release some YouTube tracks? I don't know, because YouTube don't really pay that well, so I think I might just do it somewhere else, because
I've been doing these little tiny releases on Instagram lately. I'm building towards something.
I got Benjamin, I got that heat, so I might do.
You do got that heat.
I might do something on YouTube. I'm just trying to figure out how to do it the right way that's going to benefit me and my family.
Dude, it just needs to all be Wheezy.
Oh, dude, I got ideas.
Wheezy needs to cut that album.
It's going to be silence.
It's going to be snoring.
Snoring
on the couch.
My dog doesn't bark. He just doesn't bark. He doesn't bark.
How did you mutilate that dog? That is not okay.
He's been like that since like day one.
He's like, he's in the studio, I got to be quiet.
Yeah, he was born a studio dog. So that's really dope.
So we ran long today, but it was a good conversation, and I like everything we did. But before we get out, I want to show this thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So today, New York Modular Society is doing the first of its kind. I don't think there's been things out here. So you all might remember maybe a month or two ago, I don't even know, it was a few weeks back, we had the Synth Society Summit, and it was kind of like a virtual conference. I don't recall seeing things like that before. So I'm really proud of that we got plans to do some other things similar to that. And right after the Synth Society summit that we did, the official after party was actually put on by New York Modular Society, and they did like on their Twitch channel live performances. And I think that eventually spawned into this New York Modular Society presents Signals, and it's basically a virtual electronic music festival sponsored by Expert Sleepers and Make Noise, and there's probably a few others. But yeah, this is going to be on Twitch TV / New York Modular Society, and it's got all of these really dope electronic modular artists. And one thing I'm really proud of, like you got people like Daedalus is a heavy hitter, and all these other people on here really heavy hitters. But what I really am proud of with this and what I'm excited about is that there's quite a few of our ModBap family on there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you get a chance to kind of check out this sort of, like it's just going to be a variety of genres there, and ModBap is going to be well represented. So this starts today at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, it just started an hour ago.
All right, so we got to get the whole hell out of here because I got to be performing here shortly. And I just wanted to say, like, yo, check this out. Go over to Twitch on the New York Modular Society's page and enjoy some live music. And yo, we're gonna be on there doing our thing. And I got to get my set together, so I got to get the whole hell out of here.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining in today. Appreciate you guys.
At Flux302 on Instagram.
At Daniel Steele Music at Instagram. What up? All right, let's go.
And B-Boy Tech Report. Peace.
Peace.